Excellent. Cool. All right. Bring it on. So Xbox rumors. Is Xbox exclusivity ending? Are we going to live in a world where Xbox becomes a third party? Oh, it's that whole conversation all over again. It happens every year. Oh, well, it seems like there's where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And I think this article that I read a few days ago, and that's why I've bookmarked it, even says so. So this is by Jez Corden of Windows Central, right? Another year, another round of third-party rumors. Rumors suggest Xbox is bringing more games to Nintendo Switch and PS5, but what's the truth? So who knows? Let's have a look. Over the past few days, rumors began to swirl that Microsoft is once again exploring bringing first-party Xbox games to competing platforms. For anyone keeping score, it wouldn't be without precedent. With the Activision Blizzard deal in the bag, Microsoft is effectively becoming one of the biggest third-party publishers on PlayStation and Steam already, with games like Call of Duty, Minecraft, Diablo, etc. distributed wholly under the Microsoft umbrella. This latest rumor mill doesn't pertain to that though. Historically, console sales have revolved around the arbitrary gatekeeping of exclusive content. There's no reason why God of War or Super Mario Brothers couldn't run on Xbox, PC, or whatever else, but publishers don't bring it to other systems because they want you in on their ecosystem. Even Apple has started exploring exclusive games with traditional console publishers in an attempt to grow its Apple Arcade brand. Times are changing though, and changing quite rapidly. So let's dig into the latest rumors, examine the likelihood of them being true, and see if we can't grab a crystal ball and try to figure out what the future may look like for Xbox's upcoming game lineup. Yes, the rumors, okay? So apparently a few days ago, so there's this bloke who says that an acclaimed Nate, this bloke, let me just say him properly in reference that Nate the Hate suggested on his podcast that an acclaimed game of the year worthy Xbox exclusive will come imminently available on the competing console platform. Nate has a good track record for accuracy in the past, which created a groundswell of speculation over what game it could possibly be. Right, and they go on to just start quoting some stuff that Phil Spencer and other people in the industry have said, but apparently it's been confirmed through this article, Jez Corden, with some sources that separately over the holiday period, the games like Hellblade 2, Avowed, and Elder Scrolls 6 are still slated. I had to stop and think about that as a Roman numeral in my brain. Are still slated to be Xbox console exclusives after the initial rumor mill moving around towards platform agnosticity. Oh, nailed it, swelled. Now I'm wondering if those rumors began due to the name. So, oh my God, began. Let me just restart that sentence. Now I'm wondering if those rumors began due to the game Nate the Hate is potentially talking about above, a game that I hadn't really considered or chased up. So everybody's saying that Hi-Fi Rush is probably going to be the game that'll be heading to Nintendo Switch and or PlayStation, right? And there's an update here saying, just what I just said. So the same user on Twitter, was that Ecstasis? Man, people in their Twitter, Extas1 Stiv. That's what it says right here. Right there. At EXTAS1 STV. Extas1 Stiv. Anyway, let's go on to that. Well, I'm going to have a nosebleed soon. So, yeah, I could really see that Hi-Fi Rush could potentially do that. I reckon that would be the game. It's the logical one, right? It's acclaimed. Everybody liked it. I don't think it did too well, but I think they're surprised with the success, and I think they're happy with how well it did, considering it was a shadow drop after one of these events, Xbox events. So I guess it's a new IP that's well liked. It has its fan base, and it wowed a lot of people. So what can Microsoft do to kind of maybe capitalize on that, and let's just drop it on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation, right? Let's make it not an exclusive. Let's shop it around to other consoles. It was a low investment for Microsoft, right? You can consider it that way. But anyway, we can continue on. So yeah, like I said, they say there's no smoke without fire. I will say that it has been suggested to me from very trusted, proven sources that Microsoft has been exploring bringing some of its back catalog to other platforms. Interesting. Although some of the details remain vague and unconfirmed. We reached out to Microsoft to comment and clarify its position on this stuff. There's some substance here, it says. Given the track record of Lolilo, I'm not going to say that many times, Nate, and my own sourcing on this, I think rumors will probably pan out into reality, says Jez Corden. But until things are fully confirmed, remember that this kind of stuff is with a grain of salt. What is clear is that Microsoft is actively thinking about this stuff. And we know from this we know this from public conversations from the likes of Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, Xbox CFO Tim Stewart, and Xbox CEO Phil Spencer. Met you. Hi, Phil. Speaking during the FCC hearings over the Activision Blizzard acquisition, Nadella emphasized that the only reason Microsoft produces exclusive Xbox games today is because competitors do. All right, so that's really keen to say, right? And that's really keen to keep an eye on what he just said there. They're only doing it because others are doing it. So lately I've been thinking about, so why do businesses do the certain things that they do? Why do we do the certain things that we do, right? And why do we keep doing them? Just because we've been doing something one way doesn't mean that's the right and only way to do it, right? So I think that's where Xbox is going now, where, I mean, they've got smart people, right? People that are highly intelligent and smarter than most of us watching this channel or other channels, right, going around. They know that games are what sells, right? Hardware has a ceiling, right? Hardware just literally has a ceiling. I'll just take that off the screen for a little bit. My perspective on all this, and they go into like what other potential games it could be, like Sea of Thieves and all that kind of stuff. And they understand that the hardware, it's inconsistent, and the business realities of what Microsoft in the gaming space is leading into, and the future of gaming and streaming and all that kind of stuff. So, and then this article goes into more detail about perhaps all the other games like Ori and Minecraft and other things that have been Microsoft games, like As Dusk Falls, going to other platforms, could be testing the waters to see how that succeeds, right? So Xbox buying Activision Blizzard is not just to bolster themselves as Xbox and the hardware and to put everything at exclusives, right? There's going to be a time where the box doesn't matter anymore. Like, let's be real. And how do I feel about that? Right? How do I feel about a world where Xbox potentially, all of its games, all of its IP, all the titles that it owns aren't just stuck on Xbox, right? Xbox Game Pass, that's on many things now. You can play it on your browser. You can play it on your phone, right? You can play it on your tablet. It's streaming, right? You can get it on your phone and get controllers to hook your phone up to, and you're playing it there. Where does the tribality, that's not even a word, but I'm going to use it, tribality, trademark, patent pending, where does the tribality end? Yes, I'm owning that, yes. Where does that stop, right? Those of you who know me, and if you know me well enough, you'll understand that I've got this really epic photo of myself and Phil Spencer from when I was doing a press event before the public was allowed into the EB Games Expo one year, and I met him. I've told this story before. I might tell it again one day, but now's not that time. But I've got this photo with him, and I want to get it blown up, printed and blown up in blown up, printed and framed, and put on a wall. Because to me that was one of the high points of my personal life, not just life, but just my personal life and my hobbies and interests and whatnot. And I'll never forget that day. But I just like, Phil, you've come a long way. Xbox has come a long way. But I also remember myself back then, where for those of you who know me, you know that I'm an unabashed Xbox fan, right? I waved that flag. I went into fight for stuff. You know, I bolstered my defenses. You know, I did all that kind of stuff. The fanboy, whatever. You know, I did all that. And look, there's still a part of me that does, right? There's still a part of me that's like, no, I want the Xbox, right? Not just the Xbox service, but I want the Xbox box, right? The console. I always will want an Xbox console under my TV, right? I just want that to be my place to play. Do I play streaming? Yes, I do it on my phone because I've got this big ass awesome Nacon controller that I hook up my Fold 4 to, so I can have this epic size screen that I can play, and it works a treat. I play it in bed sometimes with my wife, and when I'm away traveling or whatnot, and it's fine. It does the deed, so to speak. Does what it's required, but it's never as good. It'll never replace having the console, right? And the Xbox console is where you expect to go to have all your Xbox games optimized to play the best that they could be on that machine. Yes, I'm fully aware that PC will do it better because of whatever upgrade specs that you can do. You're going to have a PC that's more optimized, it has better hardware, more powerful hardware than an Xbox does, whatever. But that's not me, right? I downgraded my PC. I got a Microsoft Surface Pro, and it does everything I need it to do. I don't game on this thing. I don't like gaming at a desk. I just don't like it. I'd rather be on a couch. So where am I going with this? So I've been paying for Game Pass for years now, and it's paid its well worth of weight in gold and whatever else. I love Game Pass. It's you can consider yourself saving so much money just by having it there. And the moment that you try and test a game on there, that's money that you haven't spent, right? But you've tried a new game that you haven't played before. Should that experience be open to everyone? Yes, right? The more people that can play games, the more your favorite games are going to get supported, right? So will I always play Gears of War on an Xbox? Yes, because I just like Xbox. I like the environment. I've invested in this environment for many years, and that's where I want to be. Will I be annoyed if Gears of War gets put on Switch and PlayStation? Not 100%, but I'm going to say yes anyway, because I fear that I won't have the best experience, right? Because Gears of War 5, think of what you will of it. Gears of War 5 is still one of the best looking games on Xbox, or if not any other console today, right? Particularly the Hivebusters expansion, right? I think it was called that, whatever it was. The big episodic expansion, whatever it is, DLC expansion that came out, that looked stunning, and it still does. The main game still does, right? I don't know how they managed to pull off that wizardry, and it looks almost comparable on Xbox One. So I don't know what they did with that game. It's magic, but I just fear that if they put Gears of War 6, for argument's sake, on PlayStation and Switch somehow, that you're going to get a really gimped version on Switch. You're going to have some comparable experience on PS5, right? But I just fear that the resources that developers will spend on making those other versions of games won't be pulled in and centralized to make the one game the best, right? And that's always the benefit of having a console exclusive game, because they can put all their resources to making it the best version for that console, right? They can optimize for that hardware a lot better without having to consider other consoles. They can just build for one platform, right? There's a lot of benefits for that. And yes, I'm not even talking about gameplay yet. And I know what you're probably thinking. It's not just about how a game plays and how it looks and that kind of stuff. Well, no, but it adds up to the whole experience, right? I've tried to play Valheim and Dinkum on my Surface. Now, my Surface is not meant for games, right? But I really enjoy those games for what I played of it. But the experience I had on this Surface took me out of the game completely, because I just knew that I was playing gimped versions of those games. And I was sitting there going, man, I wish Valheim is on Xbox and I was playing it on Xbox, but I thought I'd try it on my Surface for a mobile type experience, local to a device, not streaming. But so I uninstalled those games, went straight back to streaming on my Xbox controller, my Nikon Pro controller thing. Anyway, so I hope, look, long story short, if I get more Gears of War games, if I get more Halo games, if I get more Forza games, if I get new IP out of Microsoft, if they bring back like the Transformers games, if they buy Sega or something, or if they bring back Ratchet and Clank and they start pulling out Ratchet and Clank, Banjo-Kazooie, if they start bringing out all those IPs, right, and they just so happen to be on every other thing, cool, man. Like I'm well past it, right? I'm not going to fight that fight. I just want good games at this point. I'm at that point in my life where I just want good games to play. And yes, I have Xbox ingrained into my gaming habits, my gaming wants. It's where I've invested my gaming space at. You know, I'm fully aware that I could sell my Xbox and go get like a Lenovo Go, right, which will play everything probably comparable, if not better in some instances, depending on what it is, to most handhelds out there. And, and I could have a mobile Xbox, right? I'm fully aware of that, but there's just something to me about knowing that the console that you've got that's put out by PlayStation or Microsoft or Nintendo, that they've built this console particularly to play their games the best, right? So you don't need to go mucking around with drivers, display issues, installing patches that you're unaware of, right? All that kind of stuff. Like, that the game's going to be automatically updated for you. The best version of the game on that platform is pushed to your console. You don't have to fight with anything. It's all there and it's done. Like that's what I always like about consoles, right? And if Microsoft pulls out of consoles, which look, PlayStation are going to do it, Nintendo will go down kicking and screaming. Xbox will probably do it. There's a potential future where Nintendo is the only one putting out a console, right? Let's be real. You might disagree with that, but I can see that happening, right? Sony will go down kicking and screaming too because they don't have the infrastructure that Microsoft does, right? If you can see the order of things, Microsoft will be the first one out, then PlayStation, then Nintendo, right? But that's like 10 years away, right? And I'll be like 50 or whatever, no, 48, whatever it is, by then. And I should be worrying about other things by then, but I'll still be giving commentary on the PS10 or whatever it is by the time that comes around. So yeah, look, Xbox exclusivity will just look different. It'll evolve. Yes, they're investing heavily in their own IP, and for the foreseeable future, I see another Xbox console coming. I think they've commented as much as Phil Spencer saying that he'll always see a box under a TV, but he said a lot of things over the years that haven't come to be, or just twisted a little bit down the future, or he's said stuff about where he doesn't see a future where Xbox shops around its IP to other consoles, but then you've got like stuff like Minecraft and Ori and As Dusk Falls and Hi-Fi Rush, or potentially Hi-Fi Rush. And now Call of Duty and all of that kind of discussion that comes into play with all that. So that doesn't really make sense now, right? So I have a lot of friends that don't solely game on Xbox, right? They just play games that suits where they play, right? They're not tied to anything. And when they are, it doesn't last very long. And then they tune out and they come back. And I've got mates that just play 2 games, right? And that's it. They play their 2 games annually. And they don't really care where it is, but they've just stuck with the same console like I have over the years because that's what they know. There's always going to be people like that out there, like us, all right, you and me. So anyway, you tell me, where are you playing? What's your favorite place to play? Well, what are your thoughts on Xbox potentially in the future no longer being like a first-party publisher? How bizarre would that be, right? To me, that would be a bit sad because I love the hype. I love the competition. I love oh man, what's Xbox going to do? Oh, how's PlayStation going to answer to that? What's Nintendo going to do in between here? And seeing the big 2 or the big 3, if you want to call it, like going, showing us different stuff and doing different things. But there is a future where it all just blurs into one. Like there's only so much you can do for gaming, right? We're getting to the point where we're getting photorealism happening, and like no one really gives a shit about 8K. Right, I don't. Right, 4K is fine, man. 8K is almost discernible. Like you can't even say what you like. I mean, you can't even tell, right? I don't care who you are. Like 8K, if you're like, I can tell the difference. I don't buy it, mate. Like if you get a 4K monitor and that's running at 120 hertz, right, and you're playing a 120 FPS game on a 4K screen, it doesn't get much better than that, right? So what do you do next for consoles? They're already doing 4K, and some of them, like Xbox, are doing 4K 120 FPS, right? So what's next? Like the photorealism is next, right? So all you need to do is go, okay, we've got photorealism happening, and some game engines are being optimized for that. So now we just need hardware that optimizes for that, right, to utilize those systems better. And now we're going to have really photorealistic, high-fidelity games running at 4K. Cool. You literally do not need to go any further, right? So what do console manufacturers do from then? It's a never-ending decline in returns, right? Diminishing returns. That's what I'm trying to say. That's where it starts going. We're already going there, right? So it behooves Microsoft and PlayStation to invest much more than they need to right now in hardware, right? Anyway, that's getting into a very other discussion because Nintendo's off there like playing with crayons and stuff still, you know, and they're winning the race. So go figure, right? And we just talked about Switch 2 last week. So I'm really excited about Switch 2. And that's the other thing, like Nintendo Switch 2, sign me the hell up. If I can play the Nintendo games at 4K, right? The Nintendo art style doesn't need to be more than what it is, right? Cool, more polygons, crisper image, 4K, 60 hertz for everything. Let's go. That's all you need to do, Nintendo. Keep your art style, stay within that wheelhouse. I don't need to see the paws and nose hairs on Mario. I don't need to see the blackheads on Luigi's nose. I don't need to see the abscess in between Bowser's scales. I don't need to see that stuff, right? There's a line. There's a line. Anyway, I've gone way over time on that one, and this is getting into a long episode. So we'll get into the next topic, and the next topic is something about the Xbox Direct. That's right, I had a brain fart there. So let's get into it.